Hello, this is Jesse. Um, as many of you know, Charlie Kirk is in the news, and his wife, Erica Kirk, and also Candace Owens. There's if you want to say a feud, a big disagreement going on, and I think it's interesting that we investigate this a little bit. It doesn't surprise me, but I want to show you what comes out. First, several days ago, I asked who actually killed Charlie Kirk, and clearly the answer was not the man that they're accusing. In fact, I spell out names with a pendulum, and I got the first name, Artyom. I printed this out as a screenshot, and I'll read it here. It says, Artyom is a masculine name with Armenian and Persian origins. It can mean sun-like or light-bearer, and is also associated with meanings such as pure, righteous, strong, or courageous. It is a man's name. Interestingly, that's what it spelled out. I also spelled out his last name, but I wrote it down on a piece of material that I ended up cutting and putting where I can't read it anymore. I could get that name out again, but nobody would believe it anyway. I'll just ask, for example, Artyom was absolutely the first name. I'd never heard that name before, but it always spells out names that are real names, sometimes rare. The last name, I can't remember it, but it sounded something similar to that. Definitely a possible last name. I'll just ask how many letters in that last name and what letter it begins with, to not take everybody's time for a name that will probably never come out in the news because all this is hidden, of course. How many letters in the one most responsible? That doesn't mean there's nobody else. The one who actually, let's say, triggered the whatever it was that killed Charlie Kirk. Was it Artyom? And the answer here is yes. Okay. How many letters in his last name? 1, 2, starting to go a little bit in circles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As I remember, is a fairly long last name. 9. And if I think 10, it stops. 10, 9. See, it starts spinning again. 9. So, okay, what letter does it begin with? I think it began with a vowel. Does it begin with a vowel? Okay. A, E, I, O. Okay, it's saying it begins with an O. Does it begin with any other vowel? Any other letter? It's saying no. Does it begin with a O? Begins with a O. Okay. But back to the subject here of all this. Candace Owens has been bringing out very, if you want to say, incriminating circumstantial evidence of the Egyptians' planes, which were probably working for Israel, and the fact that they overflew. I think, for those who haven't seen it all, I think over 70 times they were flying over turning point events, or over, especially interestingly, over Erica Kirk, even more than over Charlie, which is a little strange. Then a couple days ago, she had a interview with a man who happened, he had found, what would you say, drug smuggling tunnels, and he was silenced with a gag order for 35 years. That's when he was a young guy in the military, 20 years old or something. So now that gag order is open, he started investigating whatever happened with all that, and he went and saw some very interesting people at Fort Huachuca, I believe it is, where in an earlier interview somebody said they had a program there teaching, if you want to say, spies how to infiltrate Christian groups. Okay, so we first have a question for the pendulum of what is called Turning Point USA, people who dedicated, and sometimes you have to specify the exact conditions. let's say people who worked with pay for Turning Point USA at least 20 hours a week, how many of these were actually spies who were trained at Fort Huachuca? Let's ask this question. Okay, it's going side to side, waiting for me to say the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's close. 5. 5. It looks like a circle. 6. It's still answering. And 7 is going to stop. 7. 7 people? No. 6 people? This is the energy of truth. It starts spinning in. So there are 6 people trained at Fort Huachuca to infiltrate Christian groups who are actually paid by Turning Point. Okay? Now, when you get to Candace Owens, I'll just kind of go in order here. With Candace Owens, I thought, okay, she's saying a lot of stuff. Is her life in danger? Okay? So first I want to show you something about Candace Owens. I think it has an S. Candace Owens. Her energy age on a scale where us normal, relatively normal. I found that I'm not normal, but that was a surprise to me. Starting, it really I really started to hit home about 2013, 12 years ago. Okay, Candace Owens, energy age, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28. Okay, 28. She is not 28. 27. 27. I don't know her age, but somewhere in there. When we're in good health, our energy age is usually a little below our calendar age, and then at the end it goes up and something happens and we die. Okay, 27. Okay. Now, to check, I'll go back with her as of, let's say, a week ago, to be sure, and we will check her likely life expectancy. This is not guaranteed. This is likely, and there's all kinds of things that can happen, but the most probable average or whatever life expectancy. And to do that, I connect with her heart chakra back then, and we just count the days, weeks, months, years, decades, whatever, to the future until the pendulum stops, and that is what would have been her life expectancy. Okay, 1 week, 1 month. It hasn't stopped yet. Okay, so let's go in days then. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 121, 22, 23, 24. 124 days. 123, it starts again. So her life expectancy was 123 days. That's basically 4 months, and then boop, she would be dead. With an energy age of 27, she's not going to die naturally in 4 months. Was she to be killed in 4 months? And the answer is yes. Okay, now, I did something for her, as I've done now for several people. I actually sent her angelic protection. Okay, I did that. The pendulum spun. Does she have angelic protection? And the answer is yes. How many angels are protecting Candace Owen? They work in groups of 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27. See, after 26, it starts stopping. So she has 25 angels. I recently found that out, that they work in groups of 25. Well, actually I found out a long time ago, because 25 angels came to a meeting that I arranged. And they spoke, channeled through my wife's aunt. That's another story which I have told before. Okay, they work in groups of 25, the angels. So she has, okay, now let's check her life expectancy now. Right now, let's connect with her heart chakra. Here it is. Most people's heart chakra is working unless they have actual heart problems. It's very seldom that they're not working okay, so it's a pretty good indicator that somebody is alive. Okay, let's count the years, well, we'll go by the months. So let's count the 2, 4, 8, 10, 20 months. So let's go to years. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Now this gets interesting. 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Let's see if it answers what the same thing I got before. 160 years, 161, 162, 162, no, 161 years. That's a long life. I have finally found somebody with a longer life expectancy than me. My life expectancy, I first asked the pendulum, when am I going to die? And it wouldn't answer me because they don't like you. It doesn't. So I tricked it. I asked, okay, well, when I die, my heart chakra is going to stop, and I can test my heart chakra. So let me connect to my heart chakra and count to the future and see if I can trick the pendulum. So here's me. Okay, here's my heart chakra. I also have angelic protection, of course. Here's years to the future, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Now we should be getting close here. 121, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 128, 129, 130. It's not always the same. It kind of goes up and down a year or two sometimes. 130, 131. 131? No. 130. So I finally found somebody with a life expectancy higher than me, but of course she's younger than me. Okay, so she's protected by angels. She's going to live roughly another 160 years. Okay, let's go to one of the other major players in this. In fact, the only one we'll go to because it's the only one I remember their names. They talk about other people in Turning Point, but I don't know them. We could do Ben Shapiro, though, too. Okay, let's connect with Erica Kirk. I have connection with her. Let's check her energy age. 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,500, 16, 17, 18, 19, 2,000, 2,100, 200, 300. I know what it's going to be. Some of you do too. 2,310, 20, 2,320, 21, 22, 23, 2,323, 2,324. 2,323. Okay, those are angels. You don't have to believe anything I say, of course. I am actually an angel incarnate. I've been told that, verbally, that I'm a warrior angel of the host of Sophiel. And anyway, there's roughly, last I checked, there's about 185,000 of us angels incarnated on the earth. I am from Andromeda. I'm kind of like a guardian angel for a planet there called Fako, F-A-K-O. Anyway, I won't tell that story. But so us volunteers come from all over the universe, or at least all over the galaxy. I'm actually from this galaxy. Anyway, so I am an angel, but I don't have two souls in me. I was an angel before I came here. My soul is angelic, but I am as a human. But what happens with people like this Erica Kirk, whose energy age shows as 2,323, she has actually permitted an angelic soul, to be in her body. That means there's two souls in her body, and I can remove the angelic one because this angelic one, let's connect, just as an example of a person, let me ask my emotional frequency. 100, 200, on a scale of 1,000, 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 900, 910, 15, 20. It's going to slowly stop. So 915, 16, 17, 18, 919, 919, 920 stops. 919. 1,000 is pure love. That doesn't mean I'm almost pure love. It means I'm a combination of different emotions which are of frequencies almost like love, but not necessarily. It can be compassion, empathy. All these are high frequency emotions. Okay, so my emotional frequency at normal people feeling good are at least 800 or so. I get most people who are feeling, good are between 800 and 900. I'm a little higher than most, probably because I do stuff like this where I'm actually thinking more of the greater good than just myself. Okay? Anyway, so let's check the emotional frequency of the dominant emotional frequency of Erica Kirk. Okay? Remember, a good, if you want to say a good, calm, etc., human is probably 800 or higher. Of Erica Kirk. 100, it's already moving. 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 190, 190, 1, 2, 3. 193, no, 192. That's very low emotions, okay? And that's not because she's, what's the word, mourning? That would be a fairly low emotion, but okay. That's the dominant emotions. Now, let's, remember I said that there's two souls in her body. Let's connect with the real soul of Erica Kirk. And let's check her energy age and her emotional frequency. Her energy age, do we have the connection? And the answer is yes. Her energy age, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Wow. 22, and it's going to stop. 21. She's, in this case, very healthy. 21. Surely she's over 21, right? But it's entirely possible that that's it. Okay, 21. Let's check her emotional frequency. Not the fallen angel who is dominating her, but her emotional frequency. It may be kind of low. 100, 200, 300, 400, 410, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 490, 91, 92, 93, and it stops. 492. I definitely wouldn't want to deal in business or personally with the person with this low of emotional frequency. If they have a reason for it, which she does partially or even completely, I would say, in this case, a normal person whose husband dies probably could be that low. But in this case, I don't think so. I think it's other things. I think there's other reasons that she has a low emotional frequency. Okay, so she has two souls. Remember Jesus, when he went to the temple, he called them different translation. One translation says offspring of vipers. I think another one says sons of snakes. He could see who were controlled by, in this case, the reptilians, who are reptiles and sons of snakes. But he could easily see who was being controlled, who has two souls in their body. I can't see that, but the pendulum can. So what are we going to do about Erica Kirk? Well, first off, the big question is, was she involved in her husband's death? And I'd say first, let's make sure he's dead. You never know. I haven't asked this, but I have asked who killed him, so it's most likely, right? What is Charlie Kirk's energy age at this point? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 100.1, and it's going to slowly stop. So 100.01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07. 100.07, and it stops at 100.08. Most of us progress faster on the other side, maybe up to 4 times as fast. So somebody who's been dead a year may be at 100, 104, 105, 106, or whatever. Okay, so Charlie Kirk is definitely dead. Let's see how he's doing. Let's check his emotional frequency. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. 910, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 980, 81, 82. 981. That's pretty close to pure love, so I would say Charlie is doing okay. I was not a super fan of Charlie. I'd heard of him and saw his a couple little short things on him. He did have a, if you want to say, is it very, very high debating ability, but I was not a follower of his. I always kind of wondered what this turning point stuff, whether I didn't ask whether it's positive or negative or what. Obviously, it was controlled by Israel, and all I can recommend is just follow Candace Owens, because she's she may make some mistakes, but she's definitely digging down the rabbit hole, and that's what we all need to be doing. So what do I do in this case? I'll try to make it okay. I'm going to do an exorcism. And this doesn't seem to help a lot because they're already low frequency, low level humans anyway. So just getting rid of what's possessing them doesn't make them immediately become wonderful people. But let's get rid of that. Let's make sure it's just one. Is it just one fallen angel that is controlling Erica Kirk? And the answer is no. There are multiple. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, and if I think 4, it stops. Okay, 3 comes again. 3. Okay. What I do is I've changed my modus operandi, my operating method recently, where I actually, if you want to say, try to help them. I'm trying to do what Jesus said, love your enemies. Well, my love is by helping get rid of their ugly negative emotions. So I'll do that, and this will be too long. I have contact with them, and I'm taking away their low frequency emotions, and then I'll send high frequency emotions, and then I will take away all their negative energy, which is what I learned to do first. My first exorcisms were just taking away negative energy, and it worked. That extra soul is bye-bye. You measure the remaining relatively normal human soul, and they're okay. They're back to their normal energy age, etc., etc. So it worked. I found that by accident, which I've told another place. Okay, so here we're taking away low frequency emotions from the 3 fallen angels who are possessing Erica Kirk. As I've said, these and recently there's more and more and more fallen angels. They're like coming in, trying to help the reptilians. The reptilians have an energy age of 888, and the fallen angels have an energy age of 2,323. The good angels do too. If I connect to myself 100 years ago, I get an energy age of 2,323, which tends to back up the story. But my emotional frequency 100 years ago was nothing like these 3 that are controlling Erica Kirk. Okay, so that's enough. I'll do this. It's very late, so I probably won't do. I might write down what numbers I get, or just check tomorrow and put in the comments the numbers that I get for her. I could check all kinds of other stuff, their net worth. I think I can actually influence their economic stuff. But anyway, that's the story. Erica Kirk, possessed by 3 fallen angels. Candace Owens was planned to be killed in about 4 months, but that plan has been foiled by 25 guardian angels who will protect her. I had sent guardian angels for Donald Trump. I do not agree with everything Donald Trump is doing. I guess he's, if you want to say, a necessary, maybe not evil, but a necessary confusion to change things. But I did send angels for him, and the pendulum says the day that he was shot, he had 50 guardian angels. Interestingly, within a couple days of that, some guy who knows quite a bit about guns put a very accurate analysis of all that, and he said the just from measuring the milliseconds between the sound of the bullet going by, which went right by the microphone, of course, and then you hear the report from the gun barrel, the bullets that went right by and the one that hit Donald Trump came from 2 different locations. One was like 30-40% farther away, which was probably the man up on the water tower. And yet, you never hear about that. Even Trump's people don't bring that out. This is weird. I mean, you can't... There is no truth being reported. This is sick. So here I am reporting truth. And of course, nobody will believe this. Nobody will share it. I might get a couple dozen views. If you stuck with me now, well, you know I'm an odd guy. Actually, I'm a totally normal guy. Just these odd things started happening to me because this is my mission. Okay, I will stop here. This will continue, and we'll see what happens. I'm not sure that I make a big difference by doing this, but maybe I do. They definitely have some influence on how things go, and getting rid of these 3 fallen angels may help things. We will see. Okay, thanks for watching. I will stop this and put it on YouTube. The pendulum will continue. And good night, and maybe we can make America great again. I don't know. We will see.